raves about his ability to make plays and find guys.
Jayden Gardner tips it back to Kihei Clark as UVA uses a new starting lineup for the first time all season here in Game 11, trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. Armaan Franklin triggers the first shot of the night. It goes begging, and Jonathan Beagle, the big true freshman from Hudson Falls, New York, snares it for the Great Danes, who enter 5-9 off a win last Tuesday at Northern Illinois. Our officials tonight, Lee Cassell, Paul Sells, and Jenna Renault.
Coach Bennett drew up the first play, trying to get Armaan Franklin going.
This is Gerald Drumgoole, the pit transfer who leads UAlbany in scoring and starts by splashing a mid-range jumper.
Well, he's not going to feel overwhelmed. Coming from Pitt, he's accustomed to playing against Virginia. He's familiar with this team as anybody. Good player to have if you want to come in tonight and pull off an upset.
You see the starting 5 for the Cavaliers. Isaac McNeely also making his first start of the season, the true freshman out of West Virginia. Kihei Clark at the controls, gets it to Jayden Gardner, and that is money from the mid-range.
That's Jayden Gardner's shot. Undersized power forward there. He's a really good mid-range shooter. Catches the shot in rhythm. Good slip ball screen and pass there.
Got a lot of shooting on the front line here with Gardner and Vanderplas.
Vanderplas just extends it beyond 3.
And Drumgoole can hit that shot. That time he missed everything. He'll hear it from the fans. It's starting to fill up here at JPJ.
He did something that I would do. You shoot an air ball, you tell the referee it was tipped. I mean, it's somebody else's fault. It's impossible he shoots an air ball.
Looking at your hand. What's going on? There goes Kihei Clark. Dumps it down. Gardner finishes. 4 quick ones for Jayden Gardner.
2 good passes from Kihei. Kihei coming in and he's just such an underappreciated player outside of UVA. Really good on-ball defender, just a winner.
He's the Cavaliers' all-time leader in minutes played. 27 minutes behind Mark Price of Georgia Tech, actually, to move the top 10 in ACC history. As Sarju Patel, the Cornell transfer, knifes toward the basket and draws the foul.
And Kihei comes in. He lives in the paint. Just a great find there. No look pass down to Gardner, but he'll help pick up the slack with Reese Beekman out. He averages 5 assists a game himself. Both of those guys are tied for 3rd. He's one up his teammate now. He's going to be sole possession of 3rd place here after that assist.
Reese Beekman might suit up at halftime.
He'll hurry up and get back now. Pretty sure those 2 competitive guys don't have bragging rights on that.
And there is Reese Beekman. He's been dealing with some nagging lower body injuries. He seems to be in good spirits, though.
I think it's one of those games, if he had to play, he'd play. But when you're dealing with soft tissues injury, you rely so much on the players. He probably told the staff he was better. When he came back against Houston, he didn't seem to move at the same pace that he did, when he's been healthy. He's moved a little better in Miami, so I think it's just maybe a precautionary thing.
Yeah, he almost had a triple-double at Miami in that 2-point loss, 10, 9, and 9. But getting a breather tonight as Clark draws the foul against the true freshman Marcus Jackson, starting at point guard for UAlbany tonight.
Marcus Jackson, a really good size, strength, and really good on-ball defender. Brings a level of toughness that Coach Killing raves about. Says you don't look at his stats, he just plays, and he's a winner.
That pass from Clark. A little high and outside for Caden Shedrick, who is back on the floor in place of Vanderplas. Shedrick started the first 10 games for UVA.
I think Coach Bennett was just sending a message to Shedrick saying, hey, I need you to come out here and be physical and play with the level of toughness I know you can play with. And when he does, this team makes this team that much better.
There's Patel, sets it up for Jonathan Beagle, and that's 2 air balls and a couple threes for UAlbany. Beagle, another guy who can hit from there. He's made 5 triples in his freshman season.
He's going to have to face up. They know coming into this game, there's not quite a number, but they know they need to make threes in order to beat UVA. You like to throw out a number, double-digit number, maybe 12 or so would be the ideal number for these guys, but Beagle has an advantage shooting face-up jump shots, just not inside against the bigs of the UVA.
Shedrick cleans up the miss from Franklin, and Caden Shedrick is on the board. Mentioned the threes for UAlbany. 12 is the number they hit last time out at Northern Illinois, a 5-point win into Calb. That was a season high for the Great Danes.
Yeah, they won a couple more tonight if they could. It's going to be tough against this UVA defense.
Shedrick went way upstairs for the rebound off the miss from Drumgoole and drew the foul, and it looks like early on, Randolph, that's exactly what they want to see from 21.
Yeah, coming in, finishing offensive glass, just doing the dirty work, being physical. It's a great time of the year. Classes are out, students. You want your players to be pros and kind of just practice like that, develop those habits, and good time to challenge things. I think Tony shook his lineup up as he gets ready for conference play and wants to send a message to him.
That was the second foul on Marcus Jackson, so he takes a seat. Malik Edmeade, number 4 in black, is in there. 4 in white, Armaan Franklin has it. Indiana transfer playing in his 100th career collegiate game. Gets it to McNeely, and a nice play by Sarju Patel. Knocks it out of bounds with 9 on the timer.
Good reject there, baseline drive. Got it blocked from behind, but you know, you press up on a guy like McNeely because most of his field goals are from the three-point line. 13 of his 15 free throws are field goals are threes, so you don't expect him to go by you and drive like that, but he has it in his bag.
Franklin with space. And another slow start for Armaan Franklin, who was 0 for 7 at Miami. Only played 13 minutes in that last timeout.
Yeah, he's another guy Coach Bennett wants to get going. He competes on the defensive end, but he's trying to rattle his cage a little bit to get him going on the offensive end. He's struggling from behind the arc. I think the last possession he had a shot early, didn't take it. You want to see him just stay aggressive and take open shots. He's a talented guy, and when he gets going, you add him in with a healthy Beekman and Kihei, and just makes this Virginia team that much better.
Talented, balanced, experienced. 8-0 start, trying to snap a mini 2-game losing streak here. Clark around the Shedrick screen. Shedrick 1 for 3 from deep this year as the shot clock goes down to 5. Gardner on the face-up. That's too easy.
I think he's a guy that they can lean on a little bit more than they do. Just getting the ball in the mid-post is more of a throwback. They're kind of conflicted in opening up the floor or condensing it, but getting Gardner the ball anywhere inside of 15 feet is always a good idea.
Gardner's got 6 of the Cavaliers' 8. 4.5 minutes in.
Both teams have really good on-ball defenders in. Kihei Clark lacks size, but he really does a good job staying in front of the basketball.
Again, the shot clock dwindles. 3 to shoot for Edmeade. From the baseline, the shot missed, but Clark fouled him. So Edmeade will go to the 8-3. Virginia leads UAlbany almost 5 minutes into the first half here at John Paul Jones Arena. Great Danes have an ACC caliber player on their roster in Gerald Drumgoole, their leading scorer, who never scored more than 6 points in a game until this year. Now he's averaging above 14 on the season.
And shooting the ball well, as you see, he's shooting 40% from 3. Transferred in, then got injured after his first game. He can flat out shoot it. They're looking for a third consistent scorer. He's stepped up and averaging over 14 points a game for this team right now. And Beagle, the freshman, they're raving about him as a freshman, averaging 11 and 7. And who steps up as that third leading scorer, not just tonight before the season, goes a long way for UAlbany's.
Don't forget the U.
Don't forget the U.
Don't forget the U. University at Albany.
Yeah. Don't forget the U.
Their third scorer could be the guy who just knocked down 2 free throws, Malik Edmeade, who's averaging over 11 over his last 7 games following a slow start to the season.
I think it has to be him or it has to be Daquan Davis. One of those 2 guys got to step up consistently, be that third guy for this team before they start conference play in the American East.
Shedrick going to work down low. Missed the reverse. And the Great Danes come away with it. Here is Edmeade, who's a blur in the open floor.
He has extra gear with him, gets to anywhere he wants on the floor like that.
Finds some space and knocks down a jumper.
He's at his best when he's in attack mode. It's one of the reasons they bring him off the bench. He's gotten in some early foul trouble, but has the extra gear about him, can get to his spots like that and make shots.
We asked Coach Dwayne Killings what changed for Edmeade over the last 7 games. He said he's just bought in. Looks like a different guy in the last month or so as Edmeade commits the foul. A little too bought in, playing defense that time. Matched up with Armaan Franklin.
You love the aggressiveness, and they get after you on the defensive end. But again, it's tough when you got those transfers as well. It takes time for guys. Not everybody comes through, and transition's not always as smooth or as quickly as everyone would like.
Edmeade came in from Merrimack as McNeely outside the arc with under 10 to shoot for the Hoos. Deliberate as always. Gardner, he's feeling himself. Missed that one on the turnaround. This is Daquan Davis. Edmeade again, one-on-one with Franklin. Nice backdoor cut, Sarju Patel. Whoa, scooped it home.
Great backdoor cut, overplayed in the corner, backdoor cut. Nice looking reverse layup there.
Sarju Patel, the Cornell transfer, came in playing in that Princeton offense style for the Big Red as Shedrick lost it. Out of bounds, stays here. But Patel's a guy who comes from playing for Jason Earl, who actually played for Pete Carrill at Princeton, so the ball movement is nothing new for him.
Ball movement and body movement. Great backdoor cut. If you play in the Princeton offense, you definitely know how to cut. He shows you there.
Good finish, too. Gardner picks it up, finds a wide open Franklin. Just can't buy one now, but Gardner has the loose change.
Gardner just imposing his will inside from a physicality standpoint on Drumgoole. He has a distinct physical advantage to get the ball inside.
Gardner's got 8 of the 10 for Virginia, 4 of 5 from the field. 7 minutes in, UAlbany hanging. This is Tyree Kettner. Kettner with a nice move, can't finish. Good defense from Shedrick.
Great job by Shedrick. Continue to move his feet. It's not difficult to guard a big, drives one way, spins the other way. Coaches teach that because it's difficult to get for the defender to get the angle.
That one falls for Armaan Franklin, and that's got to feel good for him after he was 0 for 7 at Miami and started tonight 0 for 4.
Yeah, he just needs to get more aggressive. I think he's a little tentative. Maybe lost a little bit of confidence, but shouldn't be much. I mean, they're going to need him to take another step.
Here's Patel. Kettner again working on Shedrick. He got himself trapped down there and walked with it.
Great job by Shedrick, just bodying him up. Staying strong, putting his chest on him, forcing the travel. He's answering the bell so far. I think Coach tried to rattle his cage a little bit, not start him, and he's doing some good things.
Gardner takes his seat, and the fans voice their pleasure for his start with 8 points early for Virginia. Ryan Dunn takes his place, the freshman from Long Island.
Ryan Dunn is someone Virginia fans should know about as he physically matures and gets in his system. He falls in line as that 4-man defensively that's going to allow them to switch and do some of the things that the best Tony Bennett teams have been able to do at that spot.
Pull-up won't go for Isaac McNeely. And UAlbany will come the other way. Almost midway through this first half. Great Danes hanging down by 3.
Yeah, UAlbany wants to really attack UVA with some early drag screens, as you just saw there with Evans. I mean, just getting him off ball screens.
5 to shoot for UAlbany. Daquan Davis has to go, hoist it from about 40 feet. And the rebound goes to Dunn. You saw the athleticism as he soared for that rebound.
Great defensive possession there by UVA. Just keeping you out of the paint, keeping the ball on the perimeter, forcing you into a difficult shot.
Shedrick tries it from mid-range. Franklin yanks down the offensive rebound. Right back to the cup, can't hit. Got a hand on another offensive rebound, but Davis comes out of the scrum.
I think it's important early for UVA to take those early three-point and jump shots because the court's shrinking.
Virginia up by 3. 9 minutes in here at John Paul Jones.
Wahoo's catching it at his sweet spot, that mid-range jump shot. Playing around the rim, dumping off. These are the kind of games for him where he gets to dominate. If you don't have size and length and athleticism to bother his shot, he's a difficult guard. He's a difficult player to kind of guard. And I don't think the Albany has the size to bother his shot. Not to be mistaken for the U down in South Beach. You know?
UVA fans don't want to play the U again after they lost in South Beach last Tuesday. What a game that was, against a Miami team that's now inside the top 20.
2 high-level teams.
Yeah, just a great game. Great league, man. We don't really know who the cream of the crop is in the ACC yet.
It'll be decided late. They'll be going to March trying to figure that out.
That's Jonathan Beagle, the true freshman from Hudson Falls, New York, about 50 miles north of UAlbany's campus. He's on the board tonight.
No, I think he can score a little bit inside without Shedrick you know, Shedrick on him physically. I think all the other guys, he has enough size and length that he can get his shot off in the post. See if they go back to him without any real true big on the floor for UVA now.
Here comes McNeely. Hard to the 10. Count it, +1.
That's something you want to see. Just a hard drive from him. Teams are going to crowd him again. I said before, most of his field goals have been from behind the line. Now he's driving, hanging in the air, and one. The threat of his ability to make shots, if he plays off his shot fake, I think he can get in the paint, get himself going. He's so much more than just a catch-and-shoot three-point shooter.
Why settle for a 3 when you can get a 2 plus the free throw? It's like, why settle for a Bodo's Bagel when you can go to Panera? I'll get the folks in Charlottesville going.
Yeah. Go get us security to get out of here.
Seriously, we need a detail. There's Gerald Drumgoole. Daquan Davis, a guy who can really score when he is in the groove. Sets it up for Trey Hutchison, who knocks down a triple.
Great screen, slip. Force guard that they're trying to show that Nova UVA is going to hard hedge the screen. They did a really good job of clearing out that side so Hutchison can step into his 3.
That one won't go.
First 3 of the game, that was. Both teams were 0 for 7 ahead of that one.
We need Randolph Childress to suit up, knock a few down.
That's the one thing I can still do. Not much else I can do.
The stroke never leaves. UAlbany started 1 of 4 ever since they're 4 of 6. This is Daquan Davis isoing against Kihei Clark. The step-back jumper. That's pure from 3. Great Danes in front.
Great shot by Davis. He's a scorer. He's a streaky shooter. He's one of those guys, if he gets going, look out. I mean, he can score it on anybody.
He scored 32 at St. Joe's earlier this year. Hasn't scored above 14 in any other game. Speaking of shooters, Vanderplas teed one up but missed it. Beagle with the rebound for UAlbany.
Yeah, they look for a drag screen here to get going. Yeah, they're really going to try to use that drag screen, either throw it inside or get the guards attacking off of it.
There's Beagle. Tapped it out to no one. Tried to find Davis. Going the other way. Third turnover for UAlbany.
Dude, Davis is just so streaky. He's a guy, he can get to his spots, but nice step back 3 there. Money. And he's a streaky guy. I mean, just up and down right now. Coach wants to give him a ton of confidence. Knows he needs to get Davis. Boy, Edmonds, one of those guys got to get going. Now they're changing it back in the 2-3 zone. They're going to change defenses, change pace. They'll press a little bit, fall back, try to keep UVA off, just off guard, trying to make some adjustments.
Clark probes, gets it to Gardner. Working one-on-one against the freshman Beagle. A lot of contact, no whistle, and that's UAlbany ball. And they call the foul against Vanderplas, his second. So Vanderplas, who started for the first time this year, has 2 fouls, and Tony Bennett never plays guys with 2 fouls in the first half. 0.02 foul participation over on KenPom.
I don't think he's concerned about the game getting away from him. No reason to risk the 3rd foul, so. But one thing Tony will do, if you don't perform in the first half, sometimes you don't get back in the second half.
Yeah. Case in point, Franklin at Miami played 13 minutes total. Davis with a nice little teardrop, and he can get going in a hurry. Tony Bennett wants a timeout. An 8-0 run for UAlbany. And the Great Danes come in here and surprise the Cavs to start. Take the lead here in Charlottesville. They're knocking down some triples. They're attacking the basket. Daquan Davis with a pretty step back. They've made 4 field goals in a row, and this was the one that led to the timeout by Tony Bennett.
Yeah, you could tell Tony Bennett was upset with that. Kihei Clark in that middle ball screen. He was weak in the defense. Shedrick wasn't there. He was playing as if they was going to come off. He had seen enough in this 4 consecutive baskets. He's like, hey, get over here. And this is something UVA has been prone to. They've had scoring droughts. They've missed field goals. They're only one of their last 7 made field goals. And I asked Tony that today at shoot-around, and he says, hey, when we struggle to score at times, struggle to make shots, we got to defend. We got to double down on the defensive end. And when they made that last defensive, there's a difference in teams making shots and you making mistakes to help them make shots. And he called a timeout to kind of settle his guys down.
Franklin has some space, takes advantage, and drills a triple.
I just think he's so much better when he's aggressive. I mean, stop thinking about it, just shoot it. No hesitation there. Defender was up behind the screen. Just shoot it.
You know, going back to what Coach Bennett told us about letting the defense lead to offense as Drumgoole tees one up and misses. I mean, that's such a classic coach answer, but it's really true with UVA, right? I mean, this is a program built on the defensive side.
They all know if you don't play for Tony Bennett, you don't defend, you won't play. I mean, that's just a staple in this program.
Franklin lost it. Hustles. You see Dwayne Killings at the top slapping the floor, and that is a jump ball, and it belongs to UAlbany.
Early turnover here. UVA doesn't turn the ball over very much at all. They're one of the leaders in the country in not turning it over. So the good thing about it is if you do get a turnover, you want to be able to set your defense.
And Dwayne Killings looks like he could still play. So I'm get down on the deck imploring his team to do the same for that loose ball. Came to UAlbany after 3 years as an associate head coach at Marquette under Steve Wojciechowski.
He is. He's a dookie, as we all know.
Oh, yeah. That's where the floor slapping comes from.
Yeah.
Drumgoole's been quiet. UAlbany's still leading by 1, and he throws it away there. Here comes Kihei Clark. Shedrick riding shotgun, and he gets fouled.
That's something that they can do. You know, not many teams have is a center that can get in the passing lanes, be disruptive. That's what Shedrick does. He provides that. That's the spark they want from him. Defense, rebounding, offense, and defense, and finishing in the paint.
Foul was against Malik Edmeade, so that's 2 on him after he came in following 2 fouls against their starting point guard, Marcus Jackson. So we'll see what Coach Killings elects to do here. Folks, don't forget Friday afternoon, a college basketball triple header begins with Pittsburgh and North Carolina. Suddenly a pretty interesting one that didn't seem like it before the season, but that's a good game at noon Eastern on ACC Network. Caleb Love at 25 Carolina taking on Blake Hinson, who's been a revelation for the Panthers this year. That one's at the Pete. Should be a great afternoon of hoops right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app.
Both of those teams struggled early, but are playing some of their best basketball right now. That'll be a really tough game for Carolina. All conference games are tough, and Pitt's playing really well right now. You sense the pressure from UVA is picking up.
Yeah, maybe expanding the pack line a little bit. Hutchison has 1 3 already. That one won't go. Missed it by a wide margin, and Franklin is rewarded for the hustle as UAlbany called for the foul.
Sometimes the pressure doesn't result in a steal. It can result in a quick shot like that one, and airballed it. Just speed you up sometimes, get you off balance.
That's already 7 fouls against UAlbany in the first half, so with over 6 minutes to play, Franklin will go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1.
Quite a few good free throw shooters on this team, but you want to get a guy like Franklin. I always thought when I was struggling, I wanted to get to the free throw line and get in a rhythm, and you encourage guys to do that. So good sight for him. He's starting to come out of it and make some shots. And again, these guys hadn't had a lot of practice. I mean, coming home from Christmas break, and I'm sure a lot of these guys didn't find a gym during Christmas break. I'm sure they kind of
might have found the eggnog. Yeah.
I'm sure they sat up under mom and dad and got some homemade cooking and everything else, and favorite meals and everything that I still do today when I go see my mom. So
it's a 7-0 run for UVA as Beagle scores. Little baby hook. This Beagle is a nice young pup for the Great Danes.
He is. He's a skilled big and really loves to get over that left shoulder, that jump hook, and difficult shot to block. And again, he's a talented player. Really good freshman.
Coach Killings was joking with us at shoot-around today. He says, hey, I tell Jonathan Beagle, my career rests on your shoulders. He's a great freshman who could take UAlbany to new heights. As Franklin steps back and can't score, in and out, Hutchison the rebound.
Doing a really good job, UAlbany, of defending that pin down on that mover blocker action by UVA.
Davis from way downtown. Oh, we talked a little junk to the Who's bench as well.
Confident group, as they should be. I mean, they felt as though there's a toughness about them that comes from Coach Killings. I mean, he wants his guys to get after him.
Shedrick left alone.
Great penetration by Kihei Clark. Took advantage of Davis's pressure. Crossed him over, went down the lane, and laid it off to the big fella.
Again, great sign for UVA if Shedrick is being aggressive. Beagle with a no-look pass deflected by Franklin. With 14 on the shot clock, it'll stay here with the Great Danes.
Good shot. Good job by Franklin there. Comes over to help Shedrick recover from the ball screen, then goes back, and he's got back doors and gets his hand in deflection. It's what you want to see, multiple efforts on the defensive end. And again, if you want to play for Tony Bennett, because he was benched a couple of games ago, didn't play much. It's not just the offensive end for Tony. If you don't defend and you don't make shots, you got to sit down for him.
Got to do it on both sides.
Yeah.
You saw Francisco Cafaro came in for Shedrick, seeing his first action tonight. With 3 on the shot clock, Hutchison has to fire. Missed it off the back iron, and Cafaro in there to pull down the rebound. Dunn left open in the corner. That won't go. By the way, before you get on Twitter, Francisco Cafaro has told us that he prefers Cafaro as the pronunciation, the redshirt senior from Argentina. He's been on top of the world ever since his home country won the World Cup.
He also likes to be called Poppy, but
yeah,
I'm going to call him his legal name. I'm not calling a young man Poppy, so
we'll steer clear of that one.
Yeah, I'll call him Cafaro, so we'll stick to that.
More great defense from the Who's. 3 to go. Drumgoole has to, forces it, and it's a shot clock violation.
That's the defense they're accustomed to seeing here, and UVA needs to get back to. We got a tied ball game here. Great game. John Paul Jones Arena.
And he needs only 3 wins to pass Terry Holland as the all-time winningest coach in the history of Who's basketball. He's also 7 shy of 400 as a head coach in total. He had 69 wins in 3 years at Washington State to begin his head coaching career. He's come here to John Paul Jones and done the same. In case you forgot about Terry Holland, great head coach for UVA for almost 2 decades. And Randolph, he's got a connection to your career as well.
He does. Dave Odom was an assistant his and left UVA and came to Wake Forest and recruited me, and I was part of that first class. And so much of what we did was influenced by Terry Holland, and I believe it was, obviously Odom added his, when he got the head coaching ring, added his changes and flavor to things, but he has a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Holland, and Ricky Stokes was on that staff, and so we had quite a bit of a UVA influence during that time.
Under 10 to shoot for the Who's here. We've had 6 lead changes and 3 ties, including this one. Gardner's got to go. Did not get it off before the horn sounded, so that's a shot clock violation against the Cavaliers, which they typically do to the opponents. They forced their 9th shot clock violation of the season before we went to the break, which meant 150 sandwiches from the market are donated to the Boys and Girls Club, which is like so UVA, right? They force shot clock violations. That's when they give away stuff.
Do we get any sandwiches? I want to know. I want to put my order in. I didn't get the email on that one.
So we can go to Pico Wrap afterward.
There you go. UAlbany's really changing up their defenses, and it's bothering UVA. I mean, they UVA'd that on the defensive end. They came and doubled the post late and caught Gardner by surprise.
Here comes Jonathan Beagle. Fans here wanted to walk. Instead, swung it out to Marcus Jackson, who missed, got his own rebound, and Kihei Clark comes away with it.
Jacksons have to be careful. He has 2 fouls.
Clark pushed the tempo, got denied by Hutchison. It stays here with the Who's. By the way, that was UAlbany's first offensive rebound on the other side. They couldn't convert. So Kihei Clark is the trigger man from the baseline. Already 4 assists for the 5th-year senior from Woodland Hills, California.
Coach Killing saw Jackson there. Just wanted to get him out. So he picked up that 3rd foul. He trying to steal some minutes and get to the second half.
Keep an eye on 4, and Black Edmead also has 2 fouls. Tight defense against Clark. Out of bounds, stays with the Who's. By the way, on Clark, 4 assists tonight, 594 for his career. Now 4 behind Jeff Jones for 2nd in program history. Franklin in attack mode, scores plus the foul.
Speaking of Jeff Jones, he actually took over after, speaking of Coach Hollins, he was the coach here during the mid-90s. Great rejecting of the ball screen, getting in the paint, playing off 2 feet. Scoop and lay. Franklin's really aggressive tonight. I mean, for a young man that's come in, has been struggling a little bit from behind the line. This is what you need to do to get yourself going, and just got to make plays sometimes. Everything just got to go off script. play might have been designed to come off. He rejects it and gets in and finishes. There's not a shot blocker on the floor for UAlbany, so you need to attack the rim, put pressure on the rim. You're in the bonus. Worst thing they can do is foul you. They're not going to blank a shot. So if you don't commit a turnover or a charge, get it on the glass.
Clark applies the pressure, takes it away. Kihei Clark, he's been doing that for years here in Charlottesville.
He's just so tough, so underrated. Leads this team. Oh, another one.
Another one! He says, I'll have one more! Kihei Clark is taking this game over.
You might want to get somebody else to initiate your offense now.
Oh, the fans are on their feet here at JPJ. Hutchison can't silence him. McNeely with the offensive rebound. Listen, Kihei Clark, that is his career in 2 plays, right? Tight defense, takes it away and scores.
Yeah, he's got to get some help on the offensive end. It takes a lot of energy to do that. He needs a break right there. Just too great. I don't know if I've seen that in quite some time. Back to back.
Give me that.
Picking his pockets early. Not many guys committed to doing that. That's what makes that young man so special. Not many guys are truly committed to that. They'll just zigzag drill, just go through the motions, and he actually puts pressure on the ball.
Caffaro missed the front end of a 1-and-1, rebounded by Jayden Gardner for UVA. Stays here with the Who's. Caffaro kicks it out. McNeely in the corner. Before he does, though, a foul is called on the floor against UAlbany. It goes against Trey Hutchison, and UVA in the double bonus now.
UVA is, what, on a 9-0 run right now? Just
folks, we got a women's basketball doubleheader for you tomorrow. Olivia Miles and number 5 Notre Dame in Coral Gables to take on Miami at 6 Eastern, followed by Duke and number 6 NC State. Hoping to have guard Diamond Johnson back for this Tobacco Road showdown. Both games right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Caffaro came in a 6 of 7 free throw shooter on the season, missed 3 in a row. Still the largest lead for UVA on a 9-0 run.
I mean, in fairness to both teams, you just don't get a lot of time to practice, and so the defense has to carry you through. You don't know what you're going to get on the offensive end. I mean, some of these guys, you just get back, you get 4 or 5 days off to travel and come back here.
Timeout, Dwayne Killings with 1:01 to play in the first half, and the Who's on a 9-0 run. Randolph Childress, who sees guys everywhere we go. Who knows Randolph Childress?
They're just ready for me to get out of town. That's part of the problem.
There's Drumgoole, swings it to Sarju Patel, who can make that shot, doesn't here. Kihei Clark runs down the rebound for UVA. And he'll slow it down, still breathing heavily after his back-to-back pickpockets and layups. Part of a 9-0 run for Virginia. Clark leaves it, Gardner scores it. Kihei Clark is dealing in this first half.
He's getting wherever he wants to get on the floor again. They clear out the side for him. Must be an emphasis to reject the ball screen, gets in the paint, another drop off for Gardner.
Gardner in double figures. He and Franklin have 20 of the 33 for Virginia. UAlbany can hold for 1. Daquan Davis matched up with Kihei Clark. 5 left in the first half. Drumgoole's got to go. Does he see the clock? Beagle did not get it away. And Virginia will end the first half on an 11-zip run to lead by 9.
Great half. Great job by UV on the defensive end. That's what they want to double down, hang their hat on. Didn't shoot it well early. Turned it on in the last 5 minutes of the second half. Great half by the Wahoos. Come back and join us in the second half here. UVA, anybody who's flying Southwest, get back to the UAlbany game, but they're excited nonetheless.
Thanks for sticking with us here on ACC Network. Ricardo, Randolph Childress, our entire outstanding ACC Network crew. Glad to be here for first game in 8 days for both these teams. It's Jayden Gardner, who had a great first half, misses the first shot of the second half.
Yeah, he stepped into that confidently and taking that mid-range shot, which is his specialty.
Gardner had double figures in the first half, along with Armaan Franklin. A couple of transfers leading the way for UVA. Gerald Drumgoole missed the turnaround jumper from the baseline. He's UAlbany's leading scorer this year, only 2 points tonight, 1 of 7. Great Danes have missed their last 8 field goals as that pack line defense starts to tighten the screws.
Is that the 4th air ball they shot tonight?
McNeely goes to the cup. Isaac McNeely, first deuce of the second half for Virginia, makes it a 13-0 run. Yeah, it's been airball central for UAlbany.
No, it's just a credit to UVA's defense. I mean, they really get after it. They're gonna compete and contest every shot, and you know, their intentions, and when they don't turn you over, they want to speed you up. And at some point, I expect UAlbany to just settle down, like they did early in the first half, and give themselves a chance to make shots. Right now, this UVA defense is just getting after them. Sometimes I think these guys are just sped up.
Our statistician, Richard Simmons, has been tracking air balls and says there have been 4 tonight for UAlbany. That's why he's the best in the business.
There you go. And we're not talking about the exercise guru, Richard Simmons.
No, statistician extraordinaire.
The great statistician here.
That's another shot clock violation. That's 2 tonight for UAlbany. And as Richard says, 10 on the season forced by Virginia. 150 more sandwiches are going to the Boys and Girls Club.
It's a great stat to challenge your guys to, and just a standard that the UVA's Hall of Fame coaches.
Kihei Clark zips it past Jayden Gardner, took one hard dribble, couldn't finish through Trey Hutchison, who yanked away the rebound. Here's Malik Edmead. Gets it to Beagle. An outstanding true freshman, had his pocket picked by McNeely.
Great job being a low man in the corner. McNeely rotating over, stealing that. Equates into a quick transition corner 3 by Armaan Franklin.
It's a 16-0 run for Virginia, their longest of the season. And Tony Bennett's team leads by 14.
Great steal, rotates over, picks his pocket, comes down. Kihei Clark rewards his teammate. Wahoo's up 14 here early in the second half. Some teams, and he has a tremendous amount of respect for Kihei Clark because that's how he played. Really good on-ball defender and tremendous point guard for his teams.
And such a great history of point guards here at UVA, especially recently under Tony Bennett. Clark, the next in a long line. As Drumgoole misses again. UAlbany's only hit 2 shots in their last 10 minutes. By the way, Kihei Clark tonight playing in his 139th career game. That is a program record, breaking a tie with London Parentis and Mike Tobey.
I got a fair question for you. Great move, great spin move by Gardner.
That is a strong move for points 11 and 12.
In the post for him. He gets most of his points facing the basket. Great job filling the body and spinning off going baseline. Quick question for you.
What you got?
Do you think that some of these super seniors in 5th and 6th years, stat-wise, should, where did that go as far as the guys that played in 4 years?
Hold on. McNeely, right to the cup. Offensive foul.
I thought he was falling away on that. Yeah.
Emphatic call from Paul Sells.
I thought he was leaning back just a little bit.
Nice job by Drumgoole just to get over there and at least fake it.
Yeah, I thought he was trying to avoid him, and he good call. It's contact there.
To answer your question, though, before we were so rudely interrupted, should the super seniors be able to, be in the record books? Of course
they should. I'm just wondering, do you acknowledge? I think this. No, let me make me clear.
Yeah.
The stats should stay, no doubt. But
100%.
Will they be something that acknowledges, 3 or 4 year guys' stats? Great find, great pass.
That is a great look from Jonathan Beagle.
He has shown us everything. I mean, he's taken a 3-point shot. He didn't make his 3, but really good in the post, showing you his passing ability there, and really impressive for a skilled big there.
Found Trey Hutchison for the deuce, and stat-like games for Kihei Clark playing in number 139 tonight. Just so impressive, the stability and continuity as he swings a pass to Gardner, who scores it, plus the foul.
He's just controlling the game right now. He's living in the paint. They can't guard him, finding easy baskets for his teammates. Just great point guard play there by Kihei Clark, and good finish by Gardner.
That's 7 assists for Kihei Clark.
Man, he's just coming off the screen, Hutchinson with the late switch, late help, and that's just too deep. Penetration's too deep. There's nothing anybody can do defensively if you let the point guard get that deep.
15 points for Jayden Gardner, 26 in the paint for UVA, only 12 for UAlbany. Who's have as many paint points as the Great Danes have in general. And this has ballooned to a 17-point lead 4 minutes into the second half. As Beagle is trapped, Sarju Patel hot potatoes it to Daquan Davis. Here's Malik Edmead with 10 on the timer. Already 2 shot clock violations tonight for the visitors. Beagle with 5. Now 2. Davis has to hoist. Rebound to Caden Shedrick.
UVA is just such control right now of this game. I mean, defensively, they're dialed in. They got back to their customary trap in the post there, giving Beagle some trouble. And after a couple of times, you just stop looking to score as a big. And now they're going to attack the freshman inside. Just great passing right there.
Beautiful. Ends up with McNeely, whose 3 goes over the top. That'll take us to our first media. A sophomore forward for the Great Danes. ACC fans, if that last name sounds familiar. His older bro's Cam Reddish, who was part of that highly touted freshman class at Duke, along with Zion Williamson and R.J. Barrett. Cam Reddish now playing for the Knicks, free agent after the season. And earlier this year, Dwayne Killings, before the NBA season started, went to a Knicks practice and told Cam, hey, make sure you keep that fire under Aaron's feet every single day. Coach Killings also says that, in all honesty, Aaron can do some things that other guys can't. He has some of that Cam Reddish athleticism.
Yeah, he's got good size as well. He's shooting 36% from the field, 47 from total, and 33 behind the line. I mean, he's just so low heavy, and he's playing behind Drumgoole, their best scorer, so it's tough for him to get on the court right now. But I think he'll find himself on the floor come conference play at some point.
Kihei Clark with space, pulls up and drills it. What a night for Kihei Clark.
If he starts knocking down threes, good luck. Good luck trying to guard him. I mean, he lives in the paint, and he was shooting above 40% earlier in the year, and I think more realistically back down to the one. If he can shoot around 36, 37%, I think as a team they take that, and I think it's where they want to be with the defense that he plays.
Jonathan Beagle, the freshman, spins and lays it in.
That is a big-time move right there for a freshman. I mean, just
touch, too.
Yeah, just driving right, spinning back left. Shedrick did a really good job defending it the first half and got him moving one direction there. They're falling back into that 2-3 zone.
Gardner to Shedrick, lost it, no foul, out of bounds. UAlbany ball. The Great Danes got a piece, but did not touch the big man. Watch this move by Beagle.
And that's what you do when you're playing against a defender that's more physically stronger than you are. He can't back Shedrick down. So he drives right, spins back left. You want to move a big like that, and you just don't see freshmen doing that so early in their career. And man, he's going to be a tough guard in the American East. I don't see very many big men being able to guard this young man.
Yeah, he's an impressive young big man, 6 double-doubles this year. Another big man for UAlbany, Tyree Kettner. Can't score. Good defense from Shedrick. And Virginia comes the other way, leading by 18. They have put a little cushion between them and the Great Danes. Clark in attack mode. Good defense from Edmead with half the shot clock gone. Clark got fouled as he went up.
Not many outside of UVA will remember this, but when this team had the perimeter shooting, when Trey Murphy and those guys was here, they would actually post Kihei Clark. I mean, we doubled him in the post. I know that sounds funny, but we literally doubled him. I'm seriously, we doubled him in the post. I mean, he's 5'10", but he could. When they had that perimeter shooting around him, they would post him, and he was a handful in the post.
Clark is 77. Pete, should be a great afternoon of hoops right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. As Clark splits him, UAlbany comes the other way.
For UAlbany now, you're looking at what do we got to do to get shots, to get open looks here. Man, this defense is extended. They're suffocating. Great job by Slip there.
Pick and pop does not result in points for Trey Hutchison. Albany has now missed their last 7 threes. Clark. Armaan Franklin. Franklin to the hole.
Great reject, drive baseline, plays off 2. Again, no shot blocker there. Elevates and finishes.
15 points for Armaan Franklin as Reddish comes back and misses a triple. That is now 5 air balls for UAlbany tonight. I've been told 7 air balls for UAlbany tonight. I mean, that's what this UVA defense does to people.
Yeah, I think they're just sped up a little bit as well. You get down, a little bit of panic. You know, Coach Killing's encouraging his guys. Some of those shots are good. I mean, Hutchinson last 3 there was a good look. He slipped the ball screen and cleared out the side for him, and he knocked it down the first half. Didn't knock that one down, but just want to run your offense. If UAlbany continue to get shots, just nothing to be discouraged about shooting air balls against this UVA defense. You won't be the last team to do that this year.
Here comes Ryan Dunn, the true freshman from Long Island. Jump ball, arrow with the Great Danes. 5 turnovers against UVA.
Yeah, and of that 5, 2 of them been jump balls like that one. And freshman, as he gets stronger, he'll be able to clear the lane there and get that up on the glass. But his versatility on the defensive end going forward is something that this UVA team doesn't really currently have on that roster. That switching forward that can stay in front of the ball, and Dunn gives him that versatility to play that DeAndre Hunter role, that 3/4.
There's Reddish hearing it from the fans here at JPJ. Daquan Davis corrals it near midcourt. Davis with a big couple of steps to the basket, missed it. Dunn with the rebound, snares it, and tight ropes the baseline. Franklin. Reddish closed up that airspace in a hurry.
UVA with a big lineup in right now.
Franklin, you bet. That barely even touched the net. 17 for Armaan Franklin.
Just a good shot, in rhythm for him. He's going to tell Coach, I need more time off. I need more Christmas. I need Christmas break. I need to be longer. I shoot it better when I don't practice much.
He's doing it on the defensive side as well. Deflection leads to a timeout. Franklin and the Who's rolling. In conference play now. Randolph, what do you think of the ACC so far as you check out the standings?
I think it's wide open. I think anybody can look at that league right now, and you should be, no matter where you are, if you got up to a slow start or not. I think we know who the top 5 teams will be when it all shakes out. I think it's the who next. Like, who's going to be, you know, is it Wake Forest? Like, who's going to be the Wake Forest of a year ago? Who's going to be that I think 6th team? I think we know who the top 5 are.
Marcus Jackson lost it. Virginia takes it away. Interesting how Randolph Childress goes right to the Demon Deacons.
I mean, they were. I mean, I'm just being honest. A year ago, I mean, they were the team that just kind of, you know, finished 5th in the league a year ago. And this year, State's gotten off to a pretty good start. Pitt with 2 big wins in the ACC. They're already 2-0. And, you know, Miami's the only team in the ACC that's gotten 3 wins. And this league is tough. You know, it gets a lot of flack, but again, we know this league's as good as anyone in any league in the country.
McNeely beat the buzzer, missed the shot. Gardner had the offensive rebound for a second. It'll stay here out of bounds off of UAlbany. I'm with you, partner, for what it's worth. I mean, Steve Forbes is so impressive. You bring in Williams and LaRavia just for the 1 year. Both those guys show out. Williams Player of the Year. LaRavia is playing in the NBA consistently now.
Yeah.
And then you just reload again. Tyree Appleby's one of the best players in the league so far.
He is. And thank you for setting me up on that because I don't have to sound like a homer when I
I'll do it. Caffrow's pass to Ryan Dunn off his foot and out of bounds. That's the 6th turnover against Virginia, one of the best teams in the country at taking care of it. Top 10 in the country in that statistic.
I mean, the transfers, and I think Appleby has been probably the best impactful transfer. I mean, he's third. He's 18-5. He's 3rd in scoring. He's 2nd in assists in the league. And you know, Blake Henson is the reason the Pitt Panthers are 2-0 in the ACC to start. And Jarkel Joyner is just such a leader at that NC State Wolfpack team. And that backcourt's great with he and Quavian Smith, and just a lot of basketball left to be played. And you know, it's just a lot to be decided. This league's wide open right now.
2 turnovers in a row for Virginia. They average under 10 turnovers per game this year, 7th best in the nation.
And Coach Killings even spoke on that. He said, we're not going to turn them over, so they want to get second chance points. They want to make a lot of threes. They hadn't done that tonight. They're 3 of 17 from 3, but I think the one area you think you can hurt them on is offensive rebounds. And hadn't done a great job at that either tonight. They're looking for that. I think they may have found their answers with the third leading scorer.
Remember, no Reese Beekman tonight for Virginia as Drumgoole goes to the hole. Good defense from Jayden Gardner. Out of bounds, UVA basketball as you see Beekman, really one of the better players in the ACC and all-conference kind of guard for them. Been dealing with a hamstring injury, and he put up almost a triple-double in their last game at Miami, 10, 9, and 9, and that's dealing with an injury that's kept him out tonight.
I thought he was on his way of leaving Tony Bennett early at the end of the season the way he was playing. I thought he was going to, and he still may do that, but he was just such a pace and roll, had this team playing as good as any team in the country, and he just does it all. I mean, he's taking the right shots, shooting it at a high clip, defends the ball as well as anyone in the country, and just an elite playmaker and decision maker as well.
Daquan Davis will pull up from anywhere. Here's Jonathan Beagle, left it way short. Offensive rebound, UAlbany. Davis, as I said, has Jimmer range. And that is rebounded by Isaac McNeely.
Great job by UAlbany, though, attacking the glass. We talked about it just a second ago, wanting to get offensive rebounds and second chance points. And
nice two-man game. McNeely got it back from Caffaro. Gardner, the offensive rebound, and he's fouled on his way up.
Great job. Great playing off 2 feet there by McNeely. Ball found his way to Gardner. I thought he had Gardner on the pass if he had looked to throw it to him earlier, but when you're where you're supposed to be, the basketball gods reward you, and Jayden Gardner's he's been everywhere he needed to be tonight. On his way to a double-double.
We have a women's basketball doubleheader for you tomorrow. Olivia Miles and number 5 Notre Dame in Coral Gables to take on Miami at 6 Eastern, followed by Duke and NC State. Wolfpack opening Diamond Johnson is back for that one. Both games right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Jayden Gardner up to 16 points tonight. He's the type of guy who works extremely hard at the craft. He's the first one out here shooting a couple hours before tip-off tonight, and it's good to see him light up the score sheet as he's been a little bit quieter statistically this year than last season after coming over from East Carolina.
He started out the year, he was a little sluggish to start, but, he was shooting 36% the first 3 games. In the last 7 games, he's up to 60%. And you can see him continue that tonight. He's had a strong game tonight thus far on his way, like I said, again, to a double-double.
Hutchison waits and scores off glass. It's Albany's 5th field goal in the last 19 minutes, as the Virginia defense has looked like the Virginia defense.
Yeah, and Tony Bennett still is not happy with a drive down the middle of the lane. Not too many times that happened.
Vanderplas swings it out, wide open 3 from Tane Murray. And the rebound goes to Davis. Sophomore from Auckland, New Zealand. Could knock that one down. Here comes Malik Edmeade, stopped by Vanderplas, and a big hit to the deck by Edmeade.
Good run down, good effort, chase down block there by Vanderplas. I thought he got him clean. I thought it was a good block, good hustle, it was good effort nonetheless.
That's 3 on Vanderplas, and Edmeade, a 70% foul shooter, will go to the line.
Grabbing his wrist there. Hope he's okay. He's a shooting hand right there. As UVA's going to the bench.
Franklin back in there for McNeely. Couple changes for Tony Bennett. And Malik Edmeade is now 4 for 4 at the line tonight. Junior from Deer Park, New York on Long Island.
He's more of a scoring point guard for this group, and Marcus Jackson is the younger brother of Andre Jackson, a UConn Husky guard.
Vanderplas, oh, it swirls out, but he's fouled and will shoot 2. And Vanderplas will shoot the pair after the timeout with 7:44 to play. Tony Bennett's team leads by 20. The only 3-0 team in league play thus far Might have the ACC Player of the Year favorite as of now, and Isaiah Wong, Jim Larinaga closing in on history as well. I mean, Randolph Childress, these guys look great in the early going.
They do. I mean, Isaiah Wong would be my vote to get Player of the Year if that award was handed out today. And again, they're 3-0. I mean, every win is a great win, and no other team in the ACC is 3-0. And they just seem to be playing with a level of toughness right now throughout the team. I mean, they're playing more physical than I've seen them play in the past, and Wong's decision-making and play-making ability, you can see the improvement in this game, and that's a really good team. They don't have a lot of size, but that team will be a difficult out as we get in the ACC play.
Ben Vanderplas at the line for Virginia. Missed them both. And the Who's lead remains at 20.
They've struggled from the line tonight. That's probably that and shoot threes have been the two things that they've struggled with. I mean, three-point shooting hasn't been a big surprise from struggling. They hadn't shot it great lately, but 9 of 16 from the free throw line is a bit shocking.
Only 56%. Of 72 on the season as Virginia takes it away. You think Isaiah Wong and Kihei Clark are in AARP together? I mean, these two dudes have been playing ACC basketball for what feels like 20 years.
I feel like I thought I might have played against them once or twice, but they just aged better, I thought it was. Kihei Clark made it a paint doing what he does, just finding guys.
Oh, what a look. Armaan Franklin drills it for 20 points tonight.
Tony Bennett will miss this young man when he leaves. Great shot by Franklin. He seems to have found his shooting stroke. Stepping in and confidently making shots and scoring his 20th point of the game so far. Yeah, and he's played solid defense. He's been a really good defensive end as well.
You saw just 18 points combined in his last 3. None at Miami. He was bageled for the first time this season last Tuesday as UAlbany coughs it up again. Their 10th turnover tonight. And going back to Armaan Franklin, I mean, defense to offense, that's what Tony Bennett told us at Shoot-Around today. That's how they get the offense going when they fall into a slump.
When the guys go in a slump and they find themselves at the end of Tony Bennett's bench, it's not because they're missing shots. It's because when they miss shots, and this happens throughout college basketball, that the basketball gives you energy. And so when guys aren't making shots, they tend to stop doing all the other things like defending and screening and all the other little small parts of the game. And for Tony Bennett, if you're not going to do those things, you're just not going to play.
Clark, the airborne pass, stolen by UAlbany. Malik Edmead in 5th gear at all times. Scooped it to Drumgoole, who missed a 3. Drumgoole has really struggled tonight. 1 of 10 and 0 of 5 from deep. And they really needed him if they had a chance tonight, their top scorer. Vanderplas saves it.
Yeah, I think some of the size and the length and physicality of UVA has bothered him some, and if they had a chance to win this game, they definitely were going to need him to make some shots.
Under 10 to shoot. Vanderplas to Clark. Clark always has his eyes up, feeds Vanderplas, who knocks down a triple.
That's why Vanderplas is so important to this team, because he takes your big and he stretches the floor. And it allows them to play more 4 out and opens up the paint for Kihei Clark, and when Reese Beekman comes back.
Edmead missed the shot. Vanderplas fighting for the rebound, stays here with UAlbany. That's first points for Vanderplas tonight. He's been in foul trouble, only played 13 minutes with the 3 fouls after he started for the first time in a Cavaliers uniform.
Yeah, he jinxed himself now. He gave Coach Bennett a reason to bring him back off the bench, man. But no, he plays really, really hard, and staff loves him and they rave about him.
You hear the ovation. Kihei Clark checks out. Chase Coleman comes in. Should be it for the 5th-year point guard for UVA. What a night it was for Kihei Clark. 8 points, 10 assists, and back-to-back pickpockets going right to the basket that the Virginia fans here at JPJ tonight will remember for a long time. Patel's 3 off the back of the rim. Shedrick the rebound, and Chase Coleman at the controls for the first time tonight.
Yeah, it's good to see him get some playing time. He's one of those guys who does all the little things in practice. And
5'10" senior from Norfolk steps back and missed it. Shedrick tried to jam it, gets it back and does.
Shedrick battling on the offensive glass, continued to do what he did to start the game. But look at that confident shot by Coleman, man. He just stepped in the game and jack a 3. I mean, that's impressive, man. Step back 3 at that.
We could all use that much confidence in life. Shedrick cleaned up the miss. Virginia almost doubling up UAlbany. Pitt. And back here for Syracuse, and North Carolina comes to town on January 10th.
Yeah, they can't look that far down the road. I mean, Georgia Tech's a well-coached team, and, you know, they defend well themselves. And like we talked about Pitt, their team's playing confidently. They're 2-0 in the ACC, so you want to circle that down the road. I'm sure that'll be a pretty big game. But even when you get to Syracuse, they're starting to play better basketball. Their young guys are Judah Mintz and Benny Williams, the guys there. Their young guys are starting to take a step, and you never know what you're going to get out of guys. A lot of teams take a step during this Christmas break now and use that time to double up on some practices and get better. And I've really been impressed with him. He's really been good. He is really, really good.
He draws the foul there. A freshman will shoot 2.
It's been fun to watch. He doesn't look sped up. He doesn't look overwhelmed. Hadn't made his threes, but just looks comfortable when he's out there and moves at his own pace.
6 points for the true freshman. Speaking of moving at your own pace, you see what Luka Doncic did the other night?
Goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
Unwatched. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
All right, so a missed free throw by Beagle. It's about to get really loud in here. Free bacon is on the line. Oh! Put the skillet away, folks.
They're actually booing him.
Oh,
we got to try this place, man. It must be pretty good because this place gets loud. They want their bacon, man.
I think the fans here at JPJ are saying foul, foul every time down the floor. Chase Coleman is out there for Virginia. Kihei Clark's night appears to be over. Great game for him, along with Jayden Gardner and Armaan Franklin. Ryan Dunn's out there. Tane Murray has it now. Caden Shedrick with 7 on the timer. Goes to work, kicks it out. Ben Vanderplas for 3.
Coleman's getting, minutes here because you just don't know how long. Reese Beekman looked like he's going to be ready to play, but in a pinch, Coleman's going to have to give them minutes. They can't throw Kihei Clark out there for 40 minutes, so he's coming in his last 5 minutes. I think he'll finish the game.
Drumgoole draws the foul against Dunn. You can't play Clark too much. I mean, at his age,
Hey, us old guys
joint's starting to get sore.
I don't know. He's probably over there with the ice bags on his knees right now. I mean, you got to take care of the vet guys now. If you look at the UVA's bench, too, Jason Williford's not on their bench. I know he's a little under the weather, and he's the associate head coach of that staff. And just a great staff over there. One of the best group of people, best group of men you'll ever meet on that staff. Just all led by Tony Bennett, who's just go ahead and get him in the Hall of Fame, get it over with while he can enjoy it. Yeah. He is as good as it gets in this league and in the country. Man, he's fun to watch him.
Yeah, there is no doubt about it. 3-time National Coach of the Year, national champion, closing in on history. There's 3 wins to pass Terry Holland as the all-time winningest coach here at UVA. This will be his 325th.
And his daughter's a Demon Deacon, by the way. She's a senior at Deacon. I gotta call her out though. She didn't know the basketball greats at Wake Forest. She didn't know Chris Paul and Duncan and so many guys. Like, that was
a notable omission. Who else did she not know? Randolph Childress.
Well, I expected to know this old guy, but I expected to know some of those other guys. And she didn't even know John Collins and the most recent guys. So, but Tony did say he set her straight. He kind of told her. That was their discussion over Christmas dinner. So I like Tony even more now that he kind of acknowledged this.
That's right.
Some of my guys.
Educating the youth.
There you go. Full-time job, even when it's your kids.
Ryan Dunn with a nice post move. He is on the board. The 7th different Cavalier to score tonight. Armaan Franklin led the way with 20. Jayden Gardner with 16.
Great driving kick there by Davis again. Davis got himself in foul trouble, but he shot the ball really well tonight. That's his third three tonight.
Oh, Murray tried to stuff it. He got fouled by Marcus Jackson. And we'll shoot a couple. By the way, Albany with 14 points in the second half here. The lowest by any Virginia opponent this season was 21 by Monmouth. And just 14 for UAlbany tonight.
And I can assure you they're conscious of that number. And they're going to continue to guard if they can hold them to that number.
Dwayne Killings knew it would be a steep hill for his UAlbany team to climb tonight, as Murray is good on his first free throw. Well, folks, we've seen some amazing fans across the ACC, and now we need your help. This winter, ACC Network wants to experience each sport from your perspective. So snap a pic or take a video, tag it with hashtag #AllTheDevotion, and post it to your social media. You just might see it on ACC Network.
Your coach Killings right now, you just want your guys to continue to guard, continue to defend, and again, both of these teams are getting ready for conference play. And don't let the score dictate how you play. You want to start building, continue to build good habits like that.
Wow. Jonathan Beagle.
Man, this young man's
another
been
great
impressive.
play. That's a tip in plus the foul.
Just a great job getting inside. Caffaro didn't box him out, didn't see him. Missed the blocks out, and Beagle being Johnny on the spot, cleaning it up, and he's been impressive. He's been really good. It's been fun to watch. I would imagine him being a big force in the American East.
Yeah, he's got a bright future. Keep in mind for UAlbany missing a couple key guys with injuries. Caffaro goes to work and scores over the top.
Caffaro says, I got to go back at him. I screwed up, didn't box out and gave up the rebound, the and one, and I got to at least make up for it.
Drumgoole fires and hits. And finally, a triple falls for the Great Danes.
Maybe a little too late, but
timeout on the floor. We'll step aside for 30 seconds with the Who's leading by 23. Thanks for hanging with us. Drew Carter, Randolph Childress courtside as Tony Bennett's team is just a minute 29 away from snapping a two-game losing streak against Houston and Miami. Cavaliers are on the road at Georgia Tech on New Year's Eve next as Kihei Clark leads the Who's into conference play. Caffaro is standing, by the way. He's not. He doesn't have to jump to do that with the net.
I think it'd be interesting to see, too. I mean, some of these guys that are playing right now, they have to continue to try to add onto that rotation. You see Coleman in the game, and again, Reese Beekman being out, and even Dunn. You know, these guys got to get ready for conference play here. And
Coleman left it short. Rebound Davis. Davis again will pull from anywhere. Rebound saved by Japana Kellogg for UAlbany with under a minute now to play in the second half. Davis again.
I love the confidence.
100%.
I love the confidence.
That's NBA range.
If I'm open, I'm going to shoot it. I love guys to say, hey, if I see the rim, I'm open.
Coleman to Caffaro. He is fouled on his way to the hole.
Great pass by Coleman, getting in the lane. He's missed the last jump shot. Got in, played off two, and laid it off for the big fella. He's getting to a spot. Great job by Caffaro, sealing the point guard on the switch. Punishing the guard inside. UVA has really hurt them when they've tried to hedge and get back and stay on their man. That time they switched. And when you're a guard, you want to get in under that big and keep it from rolling. And Caffaro did a really good job of sealing the guard that time and was rewarded for it with the pass.
Well, the one thing UVA wants to clean up maybe is the free throw shooting.
Yeah, it's been tough.
That's Caffaro 0 for 5 now. As a team, they're 11 of 19, 58%. Three on the way is good for UAlbany and Malik Edmead. And the Great Danes now trail by 20, just 20.
Well, they're starting to extend their pressure now. I thought they'd do it a little bit earlier, but No reason to be embarrassed here. They scored 46 points. I mean, this UVA team is one of the best defensive teams in the country. Time to get back, get ready for conference play. Wahoo's in the two-game skid and get back on winning track and get ready for conference play.
Tony Bennett's team is back in the win column with a 20-point win over UAlbany tonight at John Paul Jones Arena.
Great job by UVA. I mean, I think UVA defensively is the kind of performance you want. Get back to doing things, being solid on the defensive end. They did that tonight, forced a ton of air balls, rush shots,